With just 8 days to go before Christmas, every corner, every store has a little something with you in mind. Hello there, I'm Adrian Atkinson. Thank you so much for joining us. You are watching Jamaica Magazine. Soon come back.
Flu season is here. Let's fight the flu with these tips. Stay up to date with recommended flu vaccines. Practice good hygiene, that is frequent hand washing and sanitizing, covering your mouth and nose when sneezing, and sanitizing frequently touched surfaces. You're also encouraged to eat a balanced diet, take vitamin and mineral supplements, stay hydrated, and stay away from persons displaying flu-like symptoms. Protect yourself this flu season.
The government of Jamaica recognizes that men's mental health and wellness are critical to how they interrelate with others in their personal and professional lives. Thus, the establishment of the new Male Empowerment Unit within the Bureau of Gender Affairs. Up next, we have one man's mental health story.
Thomas Paine, English-born American philosopher, once said, "The real man's mind's in trouble, gathers strength from distress, and grows brave by reflection." Statistics indicate that our men and boys continue to suffer in silence, as they are oftentimes not socialized to seek help, and in particular mental health. They are socialized to feel that they're masculine and powerful and strong, and they don't have to display or say anything about the issues that affect them.
Around the time in high school, I went to Arden High School. Around when I was doing my CSEC, I started experiencing strange phenomenon. So I would start to hallucinate. Of course, you have the mood fluctuations, and I'm wondering what is going on. I start to get these ideas in my head that, I have powers, or, what they call delusions of grandeur, when a bipolar person becomes in a manic state. So you get all of this energy, which is great for creativity. You get all these ideas, but there comes a point where it kind of teeters off. If you're not in control of yourself and your emotions, you can become erratic and sometimes intimidating. There I was in high school, not sure what's going on, and naturally my father's a pastor, so the first thing he went to, demon possession. So they call up the church and come over to the house, and everybody start, pray and olive oil and all sort of thing. And eventually when that wasn't working too, I'm not saying, that not real and God now work, but eventually somebody said, let's take him to UWI hospital and see if there's something else at play, and the doctors did their analysis and they said, okay, this looks like it could be a mental disorder. They started me on a course of medication, get the diagnosis. They thought it was schizophrenia at first because the symptoms are similar. And then you go through this whole journey of medication and side effects until you get the right one, and you start to come down and they say, okay, this is actually a mental illness called bipolar type 1. And all that simply means is he has to go through a lifestyle change. So can't drink as much, definitely can't smoke, have to get my sleep, have to get my rest, have to exercise, and for a time stay on medication. Right? And it took a while to get to a place of what you would call me a high-functioning software. It took me a while of denial, so I'm on the medication, and it's so deceptive. You feel great. I'm normal, not going, but as soon as I came off the medication, or I start drink too much, or I'm out too late, bam, we have what's called an episode. And the thing about having an episode, a man like me in Jamaica, very large, can be intimidating. If I'm on the street alone and I'm not surrounded by a community of people that know me very well, I can be intimidating. One night I'm there, I decide to go off by myself at the bar, and I'm erratic, I'm intense, I'm passionate, I'm going up to random people talking, sharing my crazy ideas, and them take it as a check. Again, we as Jamaican men, we have this thing about aggression and proving ourselves. So immediately them say, no man, this youth a violate, we have to deal him. So big fight start and I'm manic, I'm high. So if you are 10, me I come 100. So whatever you put into me, I'm gonna manipulate and come back more. So big fight start and eventually somebody just take up a piece of board and go so wookum. And I went on the ground and then it kind of shook me and I kind of came back to my senses for a bit. I'm like, whoa, I'm in an episode, I need to get to the hospital, I need to get back on my treatment, right? So that was a wake-up call for me personally to take it more seriously because, your family and friends are worried, searching where is my son. You can imagine when my mother come into A&E and see me bleeding and in a manic state. So at that time I was about 18 or so. I'm 28 now. So that was about 10 years ago or so. It made me kind of come to terms with the fact that I have to shift my lifestyle. I have to take control, not just for myself, but for the people around me. And thankfully, after I decided to get more serious about it, I haven't had an episode in a very long time, years, as I said. Currently a production manager. I was able to get back on track with my dreams. I didn't use it as an excuse to say, all right, I have this thing where I probably can't make up too much noise, I can't go after the big things, just stay quiet, take a small job. I said, no, I still want to be a big filmmaker, I want to make movies, I want to make music. So I decided, if all I have to do is take a one pill every night or every other night and just don't drink too much, which I can manage, and sleep and work out. That's a good trade-off. One of the most important things I learned about it was, especially with my disorder, it's the community around it, the people around it.
Mental health issues do not discriminate. So we need to be mentally aware and mentally prepared.
On Get the Facts this week, we talk online shopping.
Welcome to Get the Facts, the program that provides you with information on government's policies and initiatives. I'm Theodore Henry. Shopping, bill payment, banking, communication, and accessing and sharing information are a few of the everyday transactions we do online. It's very convenient. But as we embrace and adapt to doing business or personal things digitally, we must apply great care to protect ourselves. To help us navigate this space is Cybersecurity and Information Technology Consultant Christopher Record. Welcome to the program, Mr. Record.
Thank you for having me.
All right, let's jump right into getting the facts.
Yes.
More and more people and businesses are doing almost everything online.
We'll have to.
And then at an interview like this comes up and says, hey, you got to be careful online. And people are like, well, that's why I don't do anything online.
Yes,
It seems dangerous. Yeah. What's the real message that we're trying to put out here about cybersecurity?
Well, we're trying to ensure that the user, the consumer, that person understands is that you have to understand the world that you're involved in. You're using a digital tool to connect to a business that you're planning to buy a product or service from. And in doing that, there's money going to be transacted. And guess what? Somebody out there wants that money. Right? And you have to just understand the ecosystem that you're playing in to ensure that your money gets to the product provider that you wanted to get it to, and then you get your product. In simplicity, that's what we're trying to ensure that happens, and that you're happy and they're happy. Now, as I said, there's a lot of people in the middle that want to steal your money from you, or in terms of a business, they want to steal information from that business that will potentially profit them. So all for folks who are in my line of work, all of the cybersecurity professionals out there, all of the IT advisors out there, we're trying to help individuals and also businesses to just understand what they need to implement, install, set up to get that one-on-one relationship or that one-to-many relationship happening with a product and a service, getting to the right person.
So we're not fear-mongering today.
Exactly, which is kind of why I said it the way I said it. There's not no bashing anybody over the head, because we have, Jamaica may be a little bit late to the, to the arena in terms of digital, but at the end of the day, everything is going digital, and whoever wants to speak negatively about that is the reality of the world. Right? We're going digital. Folks want things to happen quicker. They want it to happen more seamlessly. They want to be more inclusive. But all of these things, digital is one of the underlying, infrastructural foundations required to make it all happen.
You've spoken a lot about e-commerce, and there are people watching and listening who might be like, okay, well, I don't buy anything necessarily online, or I don't sell anything online, but they use their emails.
Exactly.
So are there some transactions that are more dangerous than others? Give us a picture of the playing field.
So as I said, at a high level, what people are trying to do is either steal your money or steal your information. So if you think you're not digital, and you use email, well, you kind of have to understand that the email is digital, and you are sending back and forth information that is meaningful to you.
Right.
So you may not be using a credit card online, but you may be sending an email to someone to deposit money in your account or to transfer money from this account to that. So that information is there. If there is malware, malicious software on your computer, which allows someone else to see that transaction apart from just you and the intended recipient, and they're watching all of that, the instant that you then, so for example, this happens regularly. Give you a story, give you a scenario. Real estate agent is selling your house on your behalf.
All right.
Right? The house is sold. Nobody's using a credit card for anything.
Right.
The house is sold. There is confirmation now that, hey, deposit this amount of money here, such and such and such. So
account numbers
Theo sends out, hey, real estate agent, fantastic. That was a quick transaction. Love it.
Right.
Here is where to deposit the money, such and such and such. Now, that man in the middle, that someone who's just watching all of this, makes a change, sends something new to the agent that you don't see, and the agent is saying, okay, confirming, that person confirms, not you, right? And then all of a sudden, a week later, maybe 2-3 days later, you're like, dude,
what happened?
Where's the money?
Right.
And then the person said, what? You told me to change. So,
Yeah.
There's no credit card or no nothing. But because we're using digital communication, someone was able to spy on that digital communication. So again, how do you do to prevent that? The instant that I am communicating with my bank, a friend, or anything about, they say, Chris, send me the information, the details. I can't remember everything you're telling me. So whether you're going to send a WhatsApp, which is supposed to have point-to-point encryption, or you just send information, call them, here's what I sent, did you receive it? Yes.
Okay.
So a basic adding in that phone call can save millions, right? Check, is it, and you go over it together, fine. Yes, that's the right account number. Do not send it to anything else unless we speak again.
Right.
So from it, establish that, so that's a basic example.
All right. So, well, you just underlined the man in the middle attack a while ago, and I'm very curious what other, especially in the Christmas season, there are a lot of shopping and transactions happening. What other trends are you seeing? Talk to us about the fraudulent trends, but also the complacency that you might be seeing.
Let's talk about complacency a second. The fraudulent trends are this, and we've seen a bunch, not only connected to Christmas only, because we recently saw somebody, our group, opportunistically jumping into offering a service with the passport situation.
Right.
All of a sudden it started hearing, the passport office website is hacked. No, it wasn't hacked. The passport office sends out, this is the actual email website. It is published everywhere. But some of us are lazy. We just search online and say website, application, whatever.
Right.
Guess what? The bad actors, let's use that term, understand that we are lazy and we're going to do that. So they say, you know what? They understand how the search engine algorithms work. So let me put something that looks like it and use all the right words. And then they're going to present you with another site that is relatively close, and you're going to click on that without checking the authorities first or going to the main government sites to check what really and truly you should be clicking on. So that's another one that happens. In other words, scam sites. So that only happens, not only happens in that scenario, but a lot of fake accounts that are set up on various social media channels. So you see a lot of people offering some too good to be true offers, Christmas specials around this, and you look at something, you know that sneakers normally cost $150 US, right? And this person offering it for 50. Come on, man. If it's too good to be true,
think about it
usually
twice.
it is.
Right.
Think about it twice and make sure you go to the legitimate website. I mean, I don't want to say something negatively about some of our people because a lot of us are always looking for deals. I mean, I look for a deal. I mean, I'm a wine guy. Sometimes somebody call me, hey, Chris, this person selling out a case of wine. I just say, really, who's that? That person not in the wine business. I have to call the legitimate people to find out, double check.
Right.
And Chris don't know about that. We never sold that person. That person not a distributor acting on our behalf. So, all right, thank you very much. It was too good to be true.
Right. And this applies especially to something that I've seen over and over, gotten a few of them myself. Emails or text messages, your bank account is
so that's a whole,
expire.
exactly.
Click this link.
So there's a confidence trick giving you some information that appears to be coming from a legitimate site. You look at it, it seems legitimate to you, then you click and then bad things happen.
Right.
Again, in a scenario like that, the banks keep on telling us, we do not send out email to do these sort of things.
Right.
Do not click on any email that comes from anybody like that. Sadly, we have all age groups in our society, and we have grandparents and great-grandparents, some of us, and the fact of the matter is that those folks are not checking anything. This is the tool that they use to keep in touch with their family members, and they just read and they just click and they just believe everything that comes in this thing is true. Again, verification.
Indeed. We're going to go to a break right now, but we are going to talk about the consequences of this sort of action, both at the personal level and the business level. Please, don't go there.
Are you aware of how Jamaican adolescents use social media? What do they do online? What do they post? Do you know if they are being harassed? These are questions you should be asking yourself because it is your duty to keep your children safe online. Parents, here's what you need to do. Be active online and offline. Help your child to set up his or her online profile. Make sure you familiarize yourself with the different social media applications that they use and set some rules. Protect our nation's children and save them from cybercriminal attacks.
Welcome back to Get the Facts. Thanks for staying with us. We're discussing how to stay safe online with cybersecurity and information technology consultant Christopher Record. So Record, we were talking about some of the things that we're seeing happening out there, and they're wide and varied. Very creative actors we have.
For sure.
But let's talk consequences. And we've spoken a lot about the personal transactions. Let's talk businesses.
Yeah, so on the business side, what's happening there, again, it all comes down to money. Criminals want the money. Now, we're getting some more sophisticated criminals that want information, because that information is valuable to them in many different ways. Consequences are huge. A lot of us out there who are in the cybersecurity space been advising businesses for the last 20, 15 years around protection and processes. They somehow, because of whether it's budgetary constraints, whether it's whatever reasons that come from within the organization,
nothing has happened yet.
They have not had that experience yet, and so they don't see why we're spending all this money. Why we need to buy this new AI-based software? Why we need to do all this thing? We haven't had any issues. Hey, nobody wants our information. Oh, we're a small businessman. What our information, man? It all matters because ultimately, as I said, it's around getting the cash or getting some money. No, when your information is meaningful to you and then they do something, they put some sort of malicious software in your organization that encrypts your information and you can't get it. Somebody in the company clicked on a bad link because that email, I thought it was coming from my boss. Some business email compromise. I thought it was coming from a legitimate source. Or when I clicked and I did what I was told to do, then all of a sudden the entire set of data in my organization becomes encrypted and we, the company, can't use it.
Not mine.
Enough of that, right?
Not mine, the organization's
Organization, the entire company, and all sorts of bad things, let's just call it that, bad things happen within the company after that.
Right.
Because they can't use the email systems, the systems that they were using for business transactions in terms of their accounting software. All of those things are now useless for a period of time until they fix it. That costs a lot more than making the investment to listen to the advice of cybersecurity experts early and putting in the necessary prevention mechanisms. There are too many times when, as a practitioner in the industry for years, going and making recommendations to organizations, and then something bad happens, and then you get the midnight call to scramble. And you sit on the unholy head because we recommended and advised around tools and technologies that could have been put in, and even processes. Because you say to someone, back up every day. Have 3 backups, because using Jamaican vernacular, 1 backup and a backup, right? We need to have a minimum of 3 backups.
And that's cybersecurity, backups.
We're now going into a little bit of cybersecurity now. Of course, backup. Backup information that is critical and crucial to you. Backup information that you need to keep the business running. So you have 1 local backup in the system that you are, and you have 1 within the environment that you have direct control to, and you need to have 1 external to the organization, right? And so those 3 backups will give you that insurance that in case something happens, you can recover, because recovery is the key thing right here.
Right.
A bad actor, which is now using ransomware situations, saying, well, I have your information, your data at ransom. Pay me the ransom money before I give you the key to unlock your data. Now, if you have your backup up until 10 hours ago, 12 hours, or almost relatively immediate, you can tell them, well, I'm going to tell you what to tell them.
Takes the fire
right?
out of it.
Right, exactly. Right. So those are some of the things that happens. I'm not worried about the corporations that are here, because a lot of them, they have the budget, they have the smart folks. It's a small and micro business and medium business that I'm very worried about, because they're not listening, because they don't believe that anything is going to happen to them. And a lot of things are happening right now, but nobody's telling us.
Right. And we're not even touching on the loss of trust that you...
That's a massive topic.
Well, here's the thing now. You mentioned that the corporations, the big business, they have the budget. And I know that some people are saying, yeah, and that's the problem, Mr. Rickard. I don't have the budget. What are the do's and don'ts? And let's start with business, and then we go to the personal level.
So on the individual level, small business. On the small
what
business
can
level,
I do?
Yeah, right. So you can do several things in a small budget. Just have an understanding of what you have. So I have a little thing that I call take stock. Just take stock. What hardware you're using, what software you're using. You already paid for the software. A question I ask a lot of times. You have your laptop, you have your tablet, you have your smartphone. How many times that message comes up around, hey, midnight, upgrade is happening. What do all of us push?
Delay.
Exactly.
Or postpone.
Or postpone.
Right.
Exactly. Do not delay, do not postpone. Upgrade, because the manufacturer of that code, of that software, saw something out there in the ecosystem and realize it has the possibility to affect them, and they are now sending an upgrade to protect you. Do your patch. Do your patches, right? So that's one. Not a massive amount, because you already paid for that. So do it, right? Yeah. Again, access control, massively important. Many of us have folks working in the organization, they left, for whatever reason, some good reasons, some bad reasons. But somebody has not gone and deleted their access and deleted their emails and deleted all of the various access scenarios that they had.
Right.
Or sometimes you have somebody who was the IT person, they're still kind of doing a little bit of work for you, but they have access to the vast array of all the things.
Right.
That's a massive problem, because bad actors sometimes find that out and all of a sudden using that on the outside.
So Rickard, I want to jump in here. Your birthday
as your password?
Is your password.
Complicate. Use a little bit more complicated password. Did a presentation recently and I explained to some folks. And I hope the viewers will understand that I'm speaking very codedly here. Jamaica is a very colorful language.
Yes.
Right? Each of us have sayings that we use in our own vernacular. Get creative with your password, right? No, some will argue in the IT space, passwords are going to be, because right now my password for my tablet is my facial recognition and also my fingerprint.
Right.
So, okay, I'm now using passwords, and I'm using biometrics. Some will have a different conversation about that. We're moving through the digital age. We'll have to get a little more advanced. But if you're still at password stage, complicate the password a little bit more. 8 or 9 characters, throw in a dollar sign, a pound sign, something in there. But I tell people, get creative with the password. Use your nickname. Use the name you used to call your granny. Use your address that you used to live in the country and you moved to town, put the two of them together, throw in some exclamation signs in there, and make sure you remember it, right?
And don't answer those Twitter threads that say, hey, I'm trying to see something. What's your grandmother's name?
No.
Social engineering.
Exactly, and a lot of that happens and we don't realize it's happening out there.
Right.
So as I say, it's a lot to unpack in the few minutes we have, but the social engineering is massive. The confidence tricks are massive. And and we're in the age of AI. And what's happening in the age of AI is that the bad actors are using the AI to craft communication that sounds way more convincing, right?
Yes.
So they are now using it against us.
Yes.
So we have to be able to, again, crystal clear what we're looking at. Try and make sure that you go to your computer to do certain transactions. Don't do it on your mobile device. 2 or 3 of my friends, cybersecurity experts, experienced for the last 20 years, got caught because you're chill in the car, got an email from, let's say, Netflix or somebody, hey, renew your password here. And it's, oh yeah, and press the button and then start putting in information and then pow, realize I did the wrong thing at the wrong time because you didn't move the mouse over to hover over that link to see, is it legitimate or is it not legitimate? Again, is a fair amount to unpack.
So, Record, we need more time.
Definitely.
But there are small business owners, big business owners, and people who are concerned, people who intend to shop in this season. Last few seconds, what's your word to them?
So I tell people, it's a cliche, it comes about, think before you click, right? You hover the mouse over, take a look, just think before you click. If it looks too good to be true, it usually is, right? And I summarized a bunch of stuff for small and medium-sized business a little while back. I said, take stock, lock shop, use protection, right? Patch it, and be aware, very aware. Cybersecurity awareness training is the biggest thing that we can do to protect ourselves. There's lots of free training. There's paid training, which is even better. Become aware of all the bad things that can happen to you out there, and you will actually be in a better place.
Thank you for that, Sir Record. Knowledge is power, caution, not fear. Let's take your time. All right, so this has been Get the Facts, and our guest was cybersecurity and information technology consultant, Christopher Record. Thank you for watching, and until next time, I'm Theodore Henry. Take good care.
And just like that, we're signing out for today, but not to worry. You can rewatch this offering or other content like this by visiting our website, jis.gov.jm. Do join us on this same station tomorrow as we bring you another informative, educational, and entertaining package of Jamaica Magazine. Until then, I'm Adrian Atkinson. Thank you so much for watching.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.